Yep, our love for the game runs deep. From the banter masters to the oversabi coaches and to all fans who make the game unforgettable. Game on! Enjoy the rhythm of the game with Goldberg, official beer of the Super Eagles.
Hello everybody, welcome along to Niger Game On. What has been a crazy ride at the 34th Africa Cup of Nations. We've been delighted to bring you all the analysis, all the banter, all the excitement covering the Super Eagles every step of the way out there in Abidjan. Couldn't quite make it past the final step, but we did make ourselves proud, and the team showed lots of promise. And unlike many tournaments we've gone to and we've come back having to go to the drawing board from the scratch, we now have a team that we can say, we know what to expect from them. Few limitations, but we've got to be very optimistic about what the boys have done. And we said that come what may, this team have shown that, they're fully embedded. They fully trusted Nigerians, and Nigerians, exchanged that trust. And we can say that we have a team that went out and fought for us like, it meant something to them. So on that note, I want to welcome you along to Niger Game On, brought to you by Goldberg. We're very delighted to have had this incredible journey. Gentlemen, on Monday, IBK Sports with Lakuna Rufai. I totally enjoyed this, dash to the final. 7 games is a maximum a team can play in a final, in a tournament. And Nigeria, by making it to semi-finals, since ensured that status. And you've got to go back to history. 8 finals, we've lost, 5 of those finals. That tells you that it's not, it doesn't start with this team. There's something, even with the better teams of, yesteryears, the good teams, the ones that had the JJs, the one that had the Papillos, arguably who you would call better players than these players failed at that last hurdle. So that is something we need to knock out of our system. But good to see you. And how was the night? What was where you were like, how was it there?
No, I watched the game at home and I was pretty chilled. Obviously, I was calm. I was hoping we'll win. And I mean, it's football. You watch football with an open mind, and I hope people do. Because I mean, it keeps your health. Watch football with an open mind. As much as you have a side that you want to win, always realize that there could only be 3 outcomes in a football match. If it's a knockout, there can only be 2 outcomes. Either you win or you lose. Yeah. So when you lose, obviously leaves a sour taste in your mouth. You're frustrated, you're angry, but you keep a lead on how you behave and all of that. So I was pretty chill. Frustrated in the way we lost, but it's football in the end.
Yeah. I mean, football does that to you. And, when you work in football, as I've worked in football for a long time, I watch the games very dispassionately. Obviously, and that doesn't mean you don't have a team you're supporting, because, I honestly, felt Nigeria win. And we were speaking to you about the predictions, and you mentioned somebody came to your DM and asked you, said, look, Ini, it kind of felt like you were hounded to make the prediction. Talk within your mind, gong. And, you told me, and that's not to, try and revise anything, but you always sense that we maybe ran out of steam a little bit. I was listening to Fai, the coach of the Cote d'Ivoire national team. He said, look, one of the things he told the players at halftime is that the Nigerian players are tired. We need to up our intensity a lot more. And I didn't even have to see that comment. I was speaking to a friend this morning, and I said, look, we honestly ran out of legs. We didn't. It's not about the formation, because you can have the best system, but you need to execute. You need to have the intensity.
True.
Ultimately, I feel like we ran out of gas at the key moments, isn't it?
Yeah, we did, and they took advantage of it, and particularly in the wide areas, we obviously didn't have the energy to cope with their pace, with their intensity, their energy, and fair play to Ivory Coast. I thought they were brilliant on the day. Even when we scored first, they controlled the game from the beginning to the end. Franck Kessie looked like he was, 2 men playing in midfield. So much energy on the ball and off the ball. There's a little guy in midfield, Jean-Michel Seri. He looked like he was a conductor. He was playing really well. And in the end, I don't think you can fault the Super Eagles so much, because, the way we played in the final and the way we played all through the tournament, you always felt like at some points maybe we'll not be able to have enough to get over the finish line, and that's why I was a little worried, going into the final, the host nation. And fair play to the Ivory Coast crowd. I thought they were absolutely unbelievable from the blast of the whistle. I was listening to Daniel Mokachi on commentary box, and he was really worried if the fans will even the viewers watching will even hear what they were saying because the noise in the stadium was just scary. And that's somebody who's inside the stadium. And fair play to them. And I don't think our players bottled it. I've seen people say, "Oh, we bottled it." I don't think it was a bottling job. It was that kind of situation where we just didn't have enough in us. We've given a lot. We played extra time in the semi-final, and someone wonder, what does it count for? They played 90 minutes. We played 120 minutes. You went through the emotions of taking penalties. All those things, I think it took a toll on us.
When you think about, our post-tournament reaction going forward, Rufai, all the time we've had to almost go back to basics and say, you know what, we don't have a team that's good enough to compete. We need to go back to the drawing board. Come what may, whoever takes the team on, whoever is the manager going forward, be it Pesero, they know they're taking over a team that has got real future. You're not needing to rebuild anything. What you need to do is come and bring your expertise and move the pieces around a little bit to, maybe make the team a bit more effective. I always felt like, it was always a red flag for me. We had 5 midfielders, in a team of 25, players. But ultimately, we're not starting from scratch anymore, and that has to be a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's no chance we start from scratch. I think the boys, you basically have all you need to create a winning team.
Yeah.
You're in the final. All you needed to do was just win the final, and getting to the final means you actually have enough to win it, because the team you played in the final, you beat them on your way to the final. So you have everything you need to create a winning team. That final, and before the final game, I said it that even if we won it, I don't think this is the right coach for the team. And that was just my own opinion. I feel like going forward right now, you got the players. You can get more players. I also said if we get it right administratively, there are so many more players that we can get into the team that are real quality players. So you've got I don't know if I should call it the spine, but you've got what you need to create a winning team.
Let's take a look at the discoveries. And I'm wondering what your Twitter must be like, and all the banter, because pretty much it's been the heart of it. But good thing, we didn't banter Cote d'Ivoire. And even if we did, we don't understand French, so it wouldn't matter to us.
I saw it tweet. Say from a Ghanaian, say, Ivory Coast, I know you people are not on Twitter, but we're here to help your brood. What are neighbors for?
What are neighbors for? But honestly, I don't. This is the beautiful thing about being from this part of the world, where you make your own joke so hard that it is hard for anybody else to laugh at you. Because we've claimed everything you could possibly tell us. So what could you possibly say to us that could make us feel bad?
We lost on the pitch, but obviously on Twitter, on X, we didn't lose.
I think we won that.
Big shout out to Nigerians.
I have one question to ask: is Valentine's Day still going to hold?
No, that
was never going to hold.
No,
because that yesterday match was the decider.
That has been moved, and quite understandably.
No, it's not been moved. It's been cancelled.
I think that's moved. Let's not push it.
It has been moved. For some unforeseen circumstances.
Sin further notice.
Things that we couldn't control. So that definitely, look, don't say we didn't do anything for you.
Make you don't go ask for some Valentine, make it turn vex give you.
At least thank God saying everybody could wash out. No be saying only man.
Yes,
you understand? Didn't you see what happened?
So you see where I saw the game yesterday. So where I saw the game yesterday. So you had, obviously it's the final now. Women, everybody, they came in, and I was looking at all these babes, right? In the retro jerseys. I'm like, if I say when I don't know what football. If I say when I don't know say heartbreak day football. When they go watch final, wear jersey, do bone straight, everything.
Don't know the consequences.
The guy swear to go catch you for you. Okay, no wahala.
We play. We bone straight.
I'm watching the game with. I'm watching the game, and I've been told that I've exhausted my quota for female friend conversations. But one last one, this is the final, right? So I'm watching the game actually in the office, and there's a lady sitting here, and the game starts, and she's like, I'm like, oh no, I'm gesticulating, I'm making all this, and she's like, no, I have to leave the office for you, because I'm like, I think, and she was building up, she wanted to watch the game all along. The game starts, and we're like, she needs to leave the office, and I just realized that this thing was emotional for a lot of people. Yeah. But IBK, in the end, right? I have to say that you were always positive about it. So you maybe saw it coming, right? But you look downcast. Kilo Shele go, what's happening? You're wearing a green jersey.
I became in fear because
you be like, I became, but you don't hang. Ivory Coast money don't hang somewhere. You understand? Ivory Coast and say, how will they construct them? You get?
I think I saw the game coming.
Okay, but of all the people that are working, have they paid you for your influencer money? Because if you didn't collect your money, that's
No,
on
you
you.
guys give me up front.
That's on you.
No be me, the US Spy Goose Jesse. You guys give me up front.
You know.
I think I saw it coming.
Nah, you saw it coming.
No, you can Wally. I beg play with it and talk. Thank God you saw it.
Which one? Which episode?
The one I said.
What you
that-
said is okay.
I think the emotions is off now. I think the fans are the only ones who are quite emotional because in the end, you hardly get second chance in tournaments. And I feel what Cote d'Ivoire has been doing is we have a second chance and we have to go for it. That's why I'm so scared for the final because it's now looking as if we have nothing to lose. Getting into the finals we are not supposed to be here. That's what it's looking at. They always say more like a wounded lion, gets more difficult to beat. So in the end, I think my worry is the fact that Ivory Coast, they were never the favorite to win this tournament. They came in with a bit of luck, and I've seen tournaments over and over again that this same scenario plays out, and this same thing, the teams go on to win it.
Yeah.
So remember the one that happened with Portugal in 2016. They probably were on their way out, but it happened that they made it as the best, the I think best loser with just 3 points. They didn't even win any game prior to the final. I think it was only semi-final they tried to win. So in the end, you are playing against a team that in their head they were out already. So
right.
It's a very difficult game. I think when a team gets second chance, go and check it. It's always very difficult for them to throw away that second chance. And you could see apart from the crowd behind Ivory Coast players, you could see the intentions. They were so determined that they wanted to win that game, even after going one goal down. I was expecting them to be downcasted after that one. But it now seems as if they were the one leading while Nigeria were the one behind because they were still pressing, putting everyone forward and the rest. So, like I said, I think Jose Peseiro, against all odds, I would say is a manager that deserves at least 3 years contract for the Super Eagles.
So say when team gets second chance, you always that last episode, you don't talk this thing before.
I talk him.
Right.
You said it way before the semi-final.
No. I said it that
what?
I said it that going into this final,
Yeah.
playing against Ivory Coast is like playing a wounded lion that has a second chance. They were already on their way out. They had nothing to lose. Baba, they probably crashed out already in their head. But they had a second chance on a platter of gold. Baba, if it's you, say we go get.
Did you see the Moroccan flag?
Yeah.
Being
I didn't understand.
of course.
I didn't
Just
understand.
Morocco. We see what you wanna do. When I go share for this glory. But that was basically it. I mean, aside the fact,
I get it. Oh, Morocco beating Zambia.
Yep,
Yeah.
that was the.
I get it now
kicker.
because Morocco are hosting 2015, 2025.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe because of that, but I didn't quite get it. I get it. I get it.
Just to quickly respond to IBK. I think that, look, don't get me wrong. On this AFCON, Peseiro has done a good job. He has done a good job. But when you say that he deserves a 3-year contract,
I'm on 3 years plenty.
I'm wondering
Who wants to draw it up?
I'm wondering
for national team
You
in
get-
Africa. They don't give coaches
How many
3-year
contracts?
contract.
How many contracts Pep get? How many years they give Pep?
you understand? We win.
How many years they give Pep?
Win treble. Win. You're the thing, the boss
They
man.
decide you.
He said,
He said,
they don't give people 3 years contract for Africa.
I said to Todd Bowley, I said that 7 years.
He said they give up 3 years, and I'm wondering. Look, let's not be. The guy has done a good job as regards the AFCON, but we have to be honest with the fact that the lapses are there. You can go on about, Ivory Coast, they got a second chance, they are never going to let it slip. All those bans, it's fine, it's acceptable. But if we analyze the game, the reason we lost was because of those lapses. In 2019, when we lost to Algeria, it was clear. We said it. I wasn't a big Genoro fan, but I would give him credit when he deserves it. But when we lost to Algeria, it was a consensus that we lost because this guy didn't manage the team properly. The subs didn't come in when they were supposed to. even clearly people were tired on the field. The same thing when we played Argentina at the World Cup. So it is not now that we will now rewrite and say, no, give him 3 years after losing the final.
I mean, should they manage one team like that? You're managing a team.
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Hire him.
Shebi, your coach now can go and lose a final. He say you give him 4 years.
But you know, one of the beautiful stories, and
Against all odds, that I said against.
I'm not quite sure how this didn't come out, and that's why when you're on the other side of the divide, you have to be very. There are things we don't know. You know, that was a nice story from Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
You know, this is my biggest friend in football.
Yeah.
And that's why maybe Amaju was confused that time. Yeah, because as I said, they said it's to Mourinho. I said, which Mourinho is that?
My best friend in football is in the final. The Nigerian coach is my best friend.
Okay.
He grew up with me. We studied together. We went to university in the same day. We spent 5 years together every day. We left at the same time. He's probably my biggest friend in football. Jose, my big friend, and for him a huge opportunity to make history because never a Portuguese coach won the African Cup.
That statement put him under pressure, I think. Yeah. I think that stuff came out at a very wrong time, whether you like it or not. Because because in the end, this is someone who I don't think he likes.
You mean he
spotlight.
puts Pesero on under pressure?
Yeah.
But you want us to give him 3 years?
I think but the reason I said 3 years is because number one, this guy, whether I like it or not, we have a stable team. Yubi said it here when he was coming in.
No, put me inside here.
Talk what you want
calm
to.
now.
You
Talk
don't
me-
mention
no.
versus me.
We have whether I like
I
it or
need
not.
to know where you're going first. Don't
Make I know where you
I need to know where you're going first. Don't include me.
All of them don't plan this thing before we. see, no evil shall be for me.
Talk what you want.
No.
Talk what you want.
Talk what
You
you
want.
want.
want me.
I don't talk. See, we have a stable team, and we cannot keep doing plug and play because in the end we did it with Austin Eguavon. Senior man, I'm sorry for mentioning your name again, anyways. But in the end, we need continuity, and I will not lie to you. I think General brought that into the team, and you that's why you credited him for the fact that he was able to stable the team. You were even mentioning of bringing togetherness in the team through Jose Pesero. So in the end, you're asking yourself, these players, I think they love him. I think they like him. I think they like the style because in the end, if they don't like it, you won't see someone like Franck telling you play deep line playmaker all through the tournament and accept it. You won't see someone like Ahmed Musa who sit down there, not even getting 1 minute all through the tournament and accept it. So you won't see all these things. So in the end, it's not about you, Rufai. It's about the players. That's the truth. Do they really like this?
You get where you are.
No. It's not about. You see, IBK again. Like you said, make we know where you they go. You see, good point, but you have landed it very horribly. You cannot tell me that the players like him. So it's not about me. It's because the players like him. No, we're not supposed to be hiring managers because the players like him. We're supposed to be hiring because he's competent.
It's not only like now.
Now
likeness they bring results most times.
Which one be saying that likeness they bring results?
Okay, didn't get results.
Now the coach of your team now because your players like him now make you hire
It's
him.
part of it.
That's when they said that United want to hire Pochettino. So because the players just didn't want it. I said no. That's the reason I don't want it.
There are two ways about it because in the end,
IBK.
a coach can be tactically sound.
Yes.
And everything will go well on the field.
Yes.
And a coach can also be tactically sound and things will go bad. Now let me give you Jose Mourinho's this thing. Now you look at Jose Mourinho managing Lampard, John Terry and the rest. You look at Jose Mourinho managing Pogba, Rashford. Both generations are actually talented, whether I like it or not. These are players that are actually very good. But in the end, what separates them is the fact that you probably see a Lampard, you see a Terry who will do something beyond what Jose tells them. And it's more of, I've listened to interview, and it's more of me, wanting to die for the coach. Me understanding the fact that this coach is someone that, whatever it is, we have to get results for him. So you can't compare it. Now, that I said, the players are also very important because in the end, you can bring in Jose Mourinho and trust me, we'll crash out at the group stage.
Can I ask you a simple question?
Yeah.
What do you want the team to achieve?
Success. And I think this
wait,
AFCON has shown
I
that.
finish
Okay.
now. You want the team to achieve success, Abi?
Yes.
Which organization in the world that wants success hires based on if they like me or if they like them or if we like each other?
No, that's what I'm
and they
telling
want
you that
success.
it's
Mention
based,
one organization.
It's based on what we've seen. It's not based on employing Pesero. I didn't know Pesero before. It's based on what has happened, the event that's happened all through the tournament, and it's visible.
Right.
I've told you.
Someone
like Ahmed Musa not getting 1 minute, Baba. Normally you go if you have been with players. If you have been with players, you understand what I mean. Someone like
I've not been with players. I've been with farmers.
Terry Murphy left his club just to play how many minutes? You think say no go para normally?
No, I've been with farmers. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Yeah, you know go para. In an environment that thrives only on excellence.
So many countries.
Make a come out Osimhen put you.
I don't understand. Like, what think happen?
Make them bench Osimhen, make you start.
Senior man Kells inko.
Many countries
Who made them bench for him?
It's
good, bros. It's good that you mentioned senior man Kells. He was injured at first. He came back later. The second goal we considered yesterday was partially his fault.
I agree.
So wait. So with all these players where they work with, right? You will come out. Moses Simon put an unfit here nacho.
Is that what you're saying?
Is that what you're saying?
Because it's senior
or you remove relax now. Or you remove Lookman and put somebody else because I'm a Musa.
This is what I'm saying. Players are old.
When Ahmed Musa go score against Argentina, you know get who don't bench for him.
Hold on. Players are very selfish, whether I like it or not. Every player in his head believes he should be playing at some point.
Yes.
Baba, if you go meet Ian Acho,
IBK.
There was a time we were saying that Ian Acho kept telling me that he was fit.
See, IBK.
No. I can show you videos that Ian Acho kept telling me that he was fit.
Yes.
There was a reason
because he felt he should play.
There's no
That's
need.
what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying?
But you know
If he should feel that he should play and he's not getting angry with it, that means he understands the fact that
Ibuku.
How do you think?
There are things that I believe I should have. You understand, right?
I think I should own
a Rolls Royce. Do you understand? You know, so you can't. It's a corporate setup.
Do you understand?
What you believe is what you believe. So that's on you. That's good. But this is what the corporate needs.
Right? Did he bring results? Yes or no?
Wait, did you see?
No.
Pochettino.
What you don't get is that I am very, very, as far as the Nations Cup goes, I'm very pro Pesero. What I like one of the principles that I operate by is you have to give as good as you get. Yeah, right? Fair is fair, right? When you criticize somebody as much as Pesero has been criticized, right? When he has gone to the tournament and done well, you must give him the praise he deserves because you have to balance life out, right? That way people can take criticism the next time you criticize him, knowing that if I get it right, you would be fair to me. Right? Yeah. That's what I said in the last episode as well. So you're not getting.
So what comes with the praise?
But hold on. What
comes with the praise?
Hold on. There's the problem with us, football fans in Nigeria, is we cannot. We find it hard to tell the truth, right, and criticize at the same time. So the truth of what I said is the first part of what I've said, but the second part is that the team might need to evolve with another manager.
Yeah. Simple,
right?
It's not that hard.
Those two things are not explicit.
Is there a problem? Or was there a problem? What was the problem?
Mutually exclusive, right? So let's further the conversation, right? It's a good debate. I like it, but let's speak about the things that can be built upon, right? Yeah. Going to this tournament, I personally believe the team was broken, right? For one, I didn't watch Super Eagles play, right? Because every time they played, it wasn't a good show. Players didn't want to come. Feigning injuries here and there. So, I think we got the team back on side, right? It's a good atmosphere. I tell you what, the boys that had not played for Nigeria that are eligible will be calling the boys who are eligible, who are playing now. I'm like, yo, is there anything I can do? Is there anything I'm not doing right? What do I need to do to be more culturally accepted, right? Because we've seen Lookman culturally accepted. I know culturally accepted.
Bassi.
Logo, culture. Bassi, all these boys, they now fit. Like, those boys can now walk the streets of Lagos knowing that they would have people, like, cheering them on.
Yeah.
They couldn't do it 2 months ago. Right?
True.
They couldn't do it 2 months ago.
Who gets that praise?
So, what I believe, right? What I believe going forward is that we have a team that has a future. Trust might be on his last legs, maybe. I still think he can play for a couple more years. Right?
There's another AFCON in a year and a half.
In a year and a half. But I think the future of the team as centre back is safe. Calvin is one of the best centre backs in Africa.
Yeah,
that has to be said. No, I don't remember a player adapting to a task the way it has. Do you get? I remember Obabona.
Yeah,
in 2013, Godfrey. Right? He is almost as imposing as Obabona was. right? I look at Semiluga Ajayi. He doesn't get a lot of. He's not the guy everybody, but he's a silent operator, right? He doesn't get a lot of things wrong. He might not be the quickest guy, but we can build going forward. We didn't have a combination coming to this tournament. You look at Lukman, for example. Lukman is going to play, has replaced Musa. Musa played in our team for maybe 8 years, 10 years. We have a replacement for that position. So when a manager comes in now, he's going to take over a team that are AFCON finalists, not a team that he needs to rebuild on.
Exactly.
You know, so we know now, we know that this team are finalists. What we now need to do is take us further to win the tournament.
Yeah.
So I think there are many positives to take from this. Franck Onyeka has now, in my opinion, taken Didi's place.
What a game he had, though.
Taken Didi's place. I think Didi, and it's good. It's good. You know, Frank mentioned. You know, he was calling me, telling me, look, this is how you need to behave. This is how you that kind of thing. And I think that there is a bona fide passing of the guard there. Like, you know what? I've had my time. It's your time now. Now, a lot of people will criticize Iwobi. Like, oh, this is. What do you expect the kid to do?
Exactly.
Right? The kid is playing out of position. What do you want the kid to do?
Look, so
you know,
you're playing. It was one of the things also that I felt like at the end of the day, you give people credit, but also say the truth.
Yeah.
Like he said, you give people credit. Doesn't mean if I tell you that, oh, you have done this thing well, but you haven't done this one well. How can that mean that I hate you? Don't be the same me wait talk say you do this one well. You understand? Because you
that's one thing Nigerians never understand.
You want Iwobi to be a double pivot with Onyeka.
But have the freedom of Bruno Fernandes.
To be also the volume passer.
It doesn't work like that.
You want him to chase down opposition, to tackle, to win it back. But you also want him to be the chance creator.
To send defense splitting pass.
Wait, is he Thanos?
You get
how is it going to happen?
He's Declan, your
you have to analyze players in relation to their skill sets. I think one of the things we don't.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah, we have to analyze the player's output in relation to his skill sets, right?
Yeah.
When I watch Calvin Bassey, right, I think he's giving what his skill sets. You know, he's combative. That's what you get from him. Who are the players that are underperforming in this tournament? I don't think many players underperformed.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't even see yesterday. I don't even think any of our players specifically had a bad game.
Yeah.
I just honestly,
something just didn't come together.
Somebody had a bad game. Let's be honest. Samuel Chukwueze.
I celebrate.
He was non-existent.
It was shocking.
You know, he was non-existent. He was not there. Bro. As in, he looked like we're playing with 10 men.
Which is why it's baffling the choice to start him.
Exactly.
You know,
I don't have a problem with saying Moses Simon doesn't start this one. But why is Chukwueze the guy that replaces Simon?
So the one thing you get from Simon all the time is Simon leaves a lot to be desired, right?
Yeah.
But you see, the one thing Simon is very good at is he's very active on the pitch.
Yeah.
You can never go lost completely in the game where he's lost.
Yeah.
And you're playing effectively with maybe you feel like you're playing a man less, right?
He was always waiting for the ball.
There are things Chukwueze needs to learn in the game. The talent is obvious, it's there. You can see that this kid with a few...
Is Chukwueze a kid?
You know,
he's a kid.
With a few iterations, you know,
24, 25,
something like that. You can see that the kid has talent, but you have to go and you have to. There's a point where you ask yourself, are you going to be potential, or you're going to be a player, an impact player, an important player? I think it's something he needs to decide for himself.
And you see where you mentioned Iwobi. When the coach went to a five at the back. Obviously, that helped our guys because now you don't have a lot of space around them. So now they are closer to each other and all that. But the midfield suffered for it. So it's just Onyeka and Iwobi.
In the first game we played against Equatorial Guinea, we had Franck Onyeka and Al-Hassan.
Then Iwobi.
And you see, Iwobi played in an advanced position.
4-3-3, yeah.
And that pass for Osimhen was in that first game.
Yeah. You see where he was.
That first game.
No, see where he was.
That position that he played in the first game.
Yeah.
It was further up the pitch.
Because I've been critical of him, and in thinking about it in hindsight,
man, you get where they go.
I think we've been harsh.
Bros, you get where they go. When you then take it to yesterday, you had a midfield of Fofana, Kessie, and Seri, and Iwobi and Franck in middle. How?
They knew that was the problem. Ivory Coast, they knew right from the
You're never going to win
we
it.
We tried to contain in the first half. In the second half, we couldn't handle their energy.
Yeah. You
It's like-
can't win it.
It will be
Every-
get the
every-
ball,
every time
he was
press down.
sweeping.
Every time I watch Tottenham, right, I think when East Basuma is playing with, Papa
Sorry.
Matassa,
Sorry.
right, and you now add Madison to
Madison.
it, right, there are very few midfields
Yeah.
That can come
unplayable.
and
that are going to out-muscle that
out-muscle
midfield.
them,
Outright.
outplay them, outwork them.
Impossible.
And-
Impossible.
and-
I mean,
But is that not the pattern we used in the first game
the
against
first
them?
game.
So,
actually,
So you
that-
see, the
that's-
first game
that's-
against them, they played a midfield of Fofana, Kessie, and Sangari, right? But also what we did very well, and remember, it wasn't the final; it was group stage.
Second game.
Second game, a lot of energy in the tank.
You know,
right?
somebody who doesn't really know the game asked me yesterday, said, what was the difference between the first game and the last game? I said,
There
when
were
not the
differences
same.
When you
on
go-
both teams.
when you go against a side who has just won their opening game, they won 2-0 against
Yeah.
Guinea-Bissau, the crowd is buzzing, they're playing good
excitement.
football. And you play against a side who drew 1-1 against Equatorial Guinea, which on many levels was a shocking result, from a Nigerian perspective. We're the ones under pressure.
Underdog, yeah.
We're going into that game. We needed the game more than they needed. They probably were playing for a draw, not to lose against Nigeria. We're playing to try to win. So we're the ones who were a lot more adventurous. We created chances. Yesterday we didn't create one chance. We created chances against them. So the context in which we approached that game and the context in which they approached that first game was quite different. That's why we beat them.
It was, and
But
another thing,
yesterday, they are the ones who felt
we must win.
We must win.
yeah.
And another thing, one of the things we did very well in the first game was stopping them from playing. They can have the ball. And
Yes.
Once they get into it, we did it so well that there was never a time that any of our wingers was one-on-one with any of our fullbacks. When we considered in the second half, and that's why we know what Kelechi gives us going forward. We know what he can do going forward. He strikes the ball so well. But come on. In the first half, we didn't play so well, but we contained them, right? That second half, at 1-1, they put a cross into the box. Olaino heads out, right? Now the ball comes back to Adingra. Olaino is one-on-one with Adingra. Iheanacho is supposed to be busting his balls to come and do the doubling up they've been doing all game.
Yeah.
So now Olaino is one-on-one with Adingra, who's very quick, by the way. Now Olaino has shown him to his left because he doesn't want him to come on his right and shoot. He has shown it to his left. If Iheanacho was quick to come
cover
join
up.
him, Olaino won't need to move his body to show him to his
show
left.
him,
He
yeah.
will concentrate
He will
on going
retreat.
with him on his left.
Yeah.
So now he has shifted his body so that go to the left, don't go right. The guy goes left. The guy's quick. He's too late.
Yeah. Honestly, and I like the fact that, we're breaking the game down as much as we can, piece by piece. But I want to speak about, Trustekong's, play of the tournaments. And
Yeah.
one of the things that I find with tournaments is the post-tournaments awards are always very controversial, right? But I've not read one opinion piece that is somebody argues
disagreed.
that
Yeah.
Trust is the player of the tournament, right?
Yeah.
And if you even give it to Osimhen, they will still people will be like, no, Osimhen doesn't deserve it.
Yeah,
like
he
Trustekong.
hasn't scored a lot of goals. And for Trustekong, it's been an incredible performance. Obviously he will be very disappointed he didn't get his hands on the trophy, but if he locks himself inside his room and he will look
Yeah,
at himself
he'll
in
be
the
proud.
mirror and say, I've gone there and given one hell of a performance.
Yeah.
Because this is a guy who was not playing lately for the Super Eagles.
Yeah.
We're playing Ajayi and Calvin. His inclusion in this tournament was somewhat controversial because he hasn't been playing lately for the Super Eagles. But to go on into that tournament and never mind what he's done on the pitch in terms of how he's played, I think the leadership he provided on the pitch yesterday, I talked about it before the game. Don't play the occasion, don't get excited. And I saw a few of our players. They were getting ahead of themselves. They were getting into confrontations. And on the pitch, Trustekong was the guy telling them, get your head down, play. Forget.
Yeah, even when Nwabali was trying to get
Nwabali
into...
was getting excited.
Yeah.
What he's done, as a leader, he's not put a single foot wrong.
And that is hard to say.
He's
Yeah.
not put a single foot wrong. I used to think there's one or two mistakes in him.
Yeah.
He's had a perfect
tournament.
Perfect tournament.
agree with
Every
that.
time he's got the ball, there are times where I feel he's in trouble and
Yeah.
he's wriggled himself. He's passed when he's needed to pass. He's put the ball upfield when he's needed to. He's not lost duels or challenges with players. I mean, you cannot argue with that.
What do you make of the run Sebastien Haller makes on him for the win?
For the win? I think it's a goal out of nothing. It's a goal literally out of nothing. The ball is there to be won. He gets himself in a good position, because the ball is flighted, so he gets himself in a position where you can't head the ball. And the way Haller was coming, he's blocked him from heading the ball. But the man is, speed of thought.
I honestly think the only way you defend that ball is if the cross doesn't come in.
I agree.
If there's a chance of a second, that's why I clearly said one of the reasons we consider was a head shot. The only way you defend it, that cross doesn't come in. You can't allow that cross to come in. The second chance that you might have, and that's really slight, is if Troost was quick enough to try and head, and then Haller with his leg, it becomes a foul, right? That's it, and I think that's really, really, that's really, really
that's nitpicking.
Because he gets his body picking. He gets his body in
a very good shape, good position.
He blocks him.
Yeah,
but the guy sticks a foot out. And
the only way you defend that, you don't let that cross come in.
You can't blame him. It has to be the cross, because people underestimate. That's why when you see central defenders berate fullbacks, berate an attacking player for not, closing in and doubling up on people. People would say, I thought Lionel should have done better. But the way Olakule has analyzed it, if you have two people in a position...
Because that's what we're doing. If it wasn't what we're doing before, I can understand.
Yeah. If you have two people, for a winger who is very quick and nifty on the ball, it's got nice feet, you always feel like there's always something he will try. If he comes in on the right, it doesn't work, he will check out. And that's what he did. But if you have two players who are defensively conscious, and that's what Moses Simon does for us.
Yeah.
Moses Simon in that position, that cross always there. He's always there.
He's always there.
He's always
you do not
back.
want to isolate the fullback with a pace. Because that boy, I've seen him in the Premier League, and he looks really small and tiny.
Yeah.
That boy beats many fullbacks in the Premier League. His energy on the ball.
Not an lie, nothing.
I think defensive pairing too is very important, because I've seen, it's not as if Ekong is just playing for the Super Eagles. I've seen him being paired with different defenders over the years, and you really can't
had a good time with Leon Balogun.
You really can't say
it's a small good time.
Not really a good time, but maybe just a few months and the rest. But in the end, that's why I always say that I think Shemilo Guajayi complemented Ekong very well. The understanding is so sweet, because you see Ekong going for a challenge. You see Shemilo good track back. He's very calm. He knows that whatever comes in, he sends his back.
That's the advantage you have. That's the advantage you have with when you play three at the back. And we have players who understand the system very well.
They'll be more exposed before. They'll be more exposed before.
We'll make it that far before.
I just need to put it out there, right? That because obviously, like Yubi said, a lot of criticism. And you can criticize players. At the start of the tournament, criticism for Osimhen as well. And I remember tweeting and saying, look, if you criticize constructively, we can understand it. But if you all of a sudden just go to town with, this guy is not good, he's overhyped, you shut up. Just shut up. If it was that easy, everybody would play football. Everybody wants to make money.
And the funny thing, for people criticizing Osimhen, I mean, I understand football fans. I am a football fan, and last night I was a football fan. I wanted Nigeria to win. We all want Nigeria to win. But in the end, you have to ask yourself questions. Strikers feed on service.
Yep.
And if you don't understand that's as basic as that is, strikers feed on service, that if the service don't come, you can't blame the striker. You can't blame the striker, because what Adingra was doing, and he kept doing it. Adingra had at least 4 or 5 crosses on the pitch, and Max Grader was doing the same thing at the other pitch. Get half a yard, get the ball into a box. You have a big, tall, strong striker, And Haller is that kind of, and I said it before game, he would be a real worry to us, because he puts himself about. It's the same thing Osimhen does. The difference is that with Osimhen,
his service just doesn't come.
I'll give you an example. The one time the service comes in the first game, Lookman crosses the ball. Same cross.
There's a goal.
It's actually the same cross.
Exactly.
Just, a bit lofted more. It's a goal.
I think I disagree with you, because if you look at different games, I think Osimhen has gotten some fair crosses into the box. I can tell you. I think against South Africa, there was one, that was probably on a plate for him.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Can you remember that header this guy missed?
Hala.
Yeah, can you remember that header?
That Drogba almost.
Did you watch it? Can you remember that?
Yeah.
Has Osimhen ever gotten any cross as good as that?
As that. I don't think he has.
It's not
In this
you
tournament.
don't-
Have you seen the cross? Have you seen
And that's
the
why,
header?
as did you
Yes,
see the cross
I saw
and the
it.
miss?
I saw it.
There is a look on Ibike's face when there's a closing on Ibike.
All these guys, don't mind them. They won't tap to me. I actually saw the
Closing in.
because no,
Then
I
you
don't
get-
need to
it's
know.
like split second.
I
When
saw
the walls are closing in.
The thing is now you're acting as if Osimhen didn't get the services.
Hey,
I
Charlie.
think he got enough of it.
Let me
I
tell you.
think he must feed striker. He must feed.
You must feed your striker.
I think
there can be something.
now you be brought out his stats. He said I think Osimhen
I've
had
not said one statistics to you.
no be today now. No be today. You said Osimhen has the highest
something-
number of
shots.
I think shot or something.
Yeah.
24.
So in the end, I think maybe he didn't get the expected number of services, but I think he got reasonable ones that I feel he should have
The
buried.
cross that
And
came
again,
close.
and again,
No,
hold
no,
on,
no,
hold
no,
on,
no.
hold on. And again, I think that Osimhen should look at himself, and I feel there's a decision he needs to make now, and that's maybe work on his penalties. I think as an attacker, as leader of the team,
He should
I
be
think these are
taking
the
his penalties,
things. These
right?
are the things he should be taking.
Yeah, but
I
designated-
vehemently disagree.
No.
There's a designated penalty taker. You don't become the penalty taker because you are the biggest name in the team.
And
No.
not everybody's so confident from 12 yards like that. You have to
Osimhen
realize.
don't they kick penalty.
you have to
How
realize.
many penalties did Drogba take when at Chelsea?
Do you understand?
course, you know.
Osimhen don't they take penalty. Can you remember that game? God bless you. Drogba wanted to take it because Drogba was looking for a hat trick.
Yeah, against
Lampard
Wigan.
said, give me the ball.
Against Wigan.
Drogba
talked
was
about
not
this
looking
before.
for a hat trick.
Eh.
The game was 1-0.
Yeah, against Wigan.
Wigan.
It-
Chelsea
the game
needed to
ended
win to
8-0.
win the league.
Exactly.
Drogba needed, I think, 1 or 2 goals to win highest goal scorer.
Yeah.
Chelsea were leading 1-0. Chelsea now have a penalty and Drogba grabs it. And Lampard told him, Lampard is a designated penalty taker.
Still
You know who
There's,
Drogba
there's,
is?
there's leadership in this club.
In the team.
If you don't have leadership in your country, there's leadership in this club.
About which one down?
The only thing you just don't do it here.
If you
Don't
don't have
do it.
leadership in your country,
Bring the ball.
there's leadership.
Was it
Keep
not
that ball.
Pogba? Was it not
And Drogba was
Pogba?
arguing. You know what I like? Drogba was arguing, and then Ancelotti stood and said, "Drogba,
Give him
drop
the
that
ball.
ball."
Drop that ball.
There's leadership.
But
here.
that's what
Shebi
it
this
is.
person-
this
Shebi
is
this
a
person-
different
This culture of
Sterling-
discipline.
You are
Shebi
bringing for the record.
Sterling too wanted to do it.
You know
they
why I
win
said-
penalty. Sterling said, senior man, want to play.
yeah.
They went and said, no, this
You know-
small boy is the
You know
designated
why I said
penalty.
this is
Give
a-
him the ball.
You know why I said it's a different thing? Because now this scenario is more like Lampard, who probably is actually the best penalty taker. And for Nigerian setup, I think even for Napoli, I think if Osimhen should more like work on
Osimhen,
his
they miss penalties,
work on
but
his
Napoli,
penalties.
no worry.
No, if he should work
This
on
is
his
what we say,
penalties,
they
I think they
miss.
will
I said
easily
they don't
give
miss
him.
all the one,
I
he
think they
don't
will
play.
easily give
What's
him.
the ratio? No,
I
he has
think they
scored.
will easily give him. I think if Osimhen should work on his penalties,
You the years where they
I
take
think they will-
designated penalty
No, I
taker.
agree.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. That if he should work on his penalties, I think they will easily,
Trustek
designate
has
him
taken
to
3
him.
penalties in this tournament and scored all 3
So,
of them.
Abike,
Would you rather?
Do you know that when Hazard was playing at Chelsea, there was
Yeah.
Jorginho, who's also a fantastic penalty taker. There were other players too, fantastic penalty takers. Who was he designated? Hazard.
Trustek scored penalty against Ghana. He has an untainted. Be like that South African defender, Motobin Vala.
Bro.
He has scored every penalty he has
He has
taken.
played.
So every time
Trustek
they
scored
get
2
penalty,
penalties
don't say,
against South
give
Africa.
this one, he go
2.
score.
You don't know how hard that team be.
No worry.
2 against South Africa.
did you miss that in his analysis on penalties? Watch it, right?
Which one is that?
See, waiting I
I
just want
feel a player can work on
See,
his
waiting I
penalties.
just want
I agree.
I feel a player can work on his
I'll
penalties.
give you an example.
On it in AFCON.
I'll give you
And
an
he
example.
worked on it before the
Work on it in training. Don't call use AFCON. Work on it.
Work against South Africa. You
Against
want
South
We
work
Africa.
can only have one player working on something. That's Mabale. We can have 2 players working on something. Work on your problems.
See waiting I want to waste it on
Don't blame them too much.
There's one stupid
I
tweet.
personally,
There's one stupid tweet I saw on Saturday evening. He said you don't need condom, you need Mwabali. He can protect you.
I know, man.
Nigeria will not kill.
No, finish with that one
I
about
think,
final.
I think under the circumstance, under the
I think I
circumstance,
see this your agenda against
I
Mabale,
am
and he will never stand.
I am incredibly proud of the boys.
Yeah, of course.
because
No.
under the circumstance,
I think we should.
No, I was hitting my chest all through the
No,
game.
no,
you
no,
know, the
I
boys-
I want us to. all
I
those
think
boys
that was
we confer on them the title of Omolo Abi.
Yes, of course.
you know,
Yes,
and
of
they deserve
course.
to be.
Of
What
course.
is
Absolutely.
tournament?
What a tournament.
What is tournament
Absolutely
they had?
brilliant
No,
tournament from
see,
those boys. I looked at their faces and I could not
feel for them.
anything but pride for those
Absolutely.
boys.
Yeah.
Because in Nigeria, when we go to tournament, and we went to the tournament last time and we won 3 games, blah blah blah. The sense of expectations, we had in this tournament was nowhere near the sense of expectation we had last time out. After the first game, Nigerians already zoned out. We're done. They're going to come at them for first round. But those boys realized that they had one job to do, and that's play for the badge.
Yeah.
And that's what they've done.
And I think that's
anybody who is not proud of these boys is very unfair on them.
Anybody who's not part of those boys, right?
and the coaches
Doesn't
and the coaches- coaching
and
staff
the
too.
entire technical team
Yeah.
doesn't know what it means to be.
You don't
You
send
know,
you don't send
get-
invoice or send.
I think
We go share
send money to my account.
Be like, you dey mad.
Right. I always say,
You don't send invoice. You don't send. Come talk am here, man.
I
Before
always say,
Ogun strike you down.
okay, share you have to send me money because you won't use this platform to drive.
Send me
Say, make I send you one video. What I just do for now. Make I send you one video. Wale, please don't send any video that IBK must get clearance from the
Must
board.
clear it.
Must clear it.
Be like, you dey mad. You
You
say, and
know-
the entire technical, and the coach, come on, get out.
You don't know the medical team.
He be like, say IBK they go Abuja tomorrow. And I say, make I show you what I talk about. Check out now. You know, see, I talk about now. I said it. You get.
When we played Ivory Coast in the group stages, right? This guy came out, put out a tweet. The Ghanaian
But
legend.
Rufai, speaking of money, this watch I never see her for you before.
No, you get one invoice where I send.
This watch. I know how much I collect on this show, and this is not the,
You get
this watch is
one
not the money.
You get one invoice.
What
where
if
I
you zoom in
send.
on this? You wear rose gold.
I know.
Brother,
You see,
they say Kodima no people for Kodima pocket. You understand? I know the invoice on this show.
my brother,
You understand?
the absence, the lack of evidence is not.
There are known unknowns.
There are known unknowns and there are unknown
There are unknowns.
unknowns. But there are also things that we know that
we don't know.
that we know.
That we don't know that we know. So
You see, Asamoah Gyan came out, put out a tweet, and he said, Osimhen gives everything. So that's how everybody wants their player to be for their country.
Gavin Hunt said the same thing.
You understand? So when a guy like Asamoah Gyan, Asamoah Gyan,
African legend.
that's an absolute legend,
Bola.
puts out a tweet like that, and the boys get to the final and they lose to the host nation. Before you try and criticize, go to Oshodi and play when 10 men stand by the field first. Incredibly proud of what the boys have done.
Of course.
So
you can analyze the game.
you can be disappointed.
You can be disappointed.
Nothing wrong
That's-
with that.
But
Right?
don't take that to now begin to say things you are not supposed to be saying.
Look, Dave Chappelle, who's one of the greatest, stand-up, comedians of all time, put out a show and it's called Dreamer, right? And one of the things he said in that stand-up, that comedy special was, I am a dreamer. I am a powerful dreamer, but an ability I have is to recognize a dreamer when I see one.
Yeah.
Right. I can recognize a dreamer when I see one.
Absolutely.
Right. So I'll bring it back to the Osimhen and the boys being proud of them. When you can see when somebody is giving everything for
Everything.
something, right?
Everything.
If you are a hustler,
You can see
right?
it.
You can see these guys are giving everything. What are you possibly going to get,
I mean-
right? From tearing the boys down, we have
Exactly.
we have a World Cup qualifier, in June. In June, right? We need to carry this momentum into the World Cup
to back the
qualifiers.
boys, come on.
And we're on the back foot already, so we need to back those boys. Can you imagine how much better our lives have been in the last 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Right.
And they did
just waking up with a spring in your step, knowing that 9 o'clock we go jolly, we go 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, we'll gather around, all those spots, all those bars, all those people,
Yeah.
all these brands,
God,
right?
we lose one.
Working because of the boys running around. And they get paid for it. There's nothing wrong with that, because that's why I hear somebody saying, "Oh, I did not pay to do it." They get paid to do it, right? But there are people that get paid to do it that got knocked out in the first round. So we have to manage ourselves. That way we can keep building. What we don't want to do is to tear the house down when we still have a long way to go. So on that note, right, I really like the fact that every single time we've said, do something for us. We had 100 plus comments. People dropping flowers for you on Monday. I want you to leave a flower, right, for the Super Eagles players, right? The flower, and just put a flower and put an SE, beside it, just to, if those players watch this show, and Franck, has been on this show, and they watch the show, I can guarantee you they watch the show, and they see that there are people who understand,
who appreciate them,
the work they put out,
what
right?
they've done.
So please leave a flower in the comment section, right? Don't do
For
it
the
later.
players
Do
and the
it,
entire
do it now.
technical team.
Everybody, right? For the technical team, right? Because we have a new voice coming, right? Anyway,
I've cleared it.
so we've done that. So we're on the same page. IBK.
Call your
please
mom, my brother.
send him the video if he needs the video.
Don't sleep.
Whatever it
Call
is,
your mom.
don't play. Get it to him, right? But that's how we have to leave it, right?
Yeah.
We have to leave it there. It's been a great tournament, no?
It has.
There's an AFCON next year.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
2026.
No.
I think next year.
2025.
2025.
So now we go
I-
back
I-
to
I
odd
play.
years.
So
Yeah,
what-
so now we go back to odd
Because
years.
That's
we're not
next year.
sure. We're not. I don't think
You know
it'll be
this
in
is
January.
2023.
No, it's in
Yeah.
June.
This is 2023.
I don't think it will be
so
in
we're supposed to
January.
have another one in 2 years.
2025.
That's next year.
So that's it. It has to be in
That's
June.
next year.
You don't say like that now.
That's why I said like.
Peseru.
Let's go
Only
again.
you. Another
Let's
chance
go again. Let's do it
Now-
again.
Now you can say, let's do it again.
Let's do it
right?
again.
No,
but this
let's-
tournament, it was Niger game on because that let's do it again did not work. But
That
this
one
time,
is for 2025 now. Let's do it again and win. No,
No, but the boys,
No,
they
we
give
let
them-
it again.
I'm proud of the
the
boys.
boys did well, right?
Yeah,
And-
and big shout out to Goldberg as well.
Yeah.
You know, I mean the last. I mean, I've not enjoyed myself as a Nigerian, like being in a space, talking about Nigerian football,
And having a chat with Swimpy, my
So,
man,
yeah,
gingerbread.
gingerbread.
And you've had about 10 cans.
You know.
15.
He actually drinks water.
great time, talking football
Guy
with,
don't go by me.
He actually drinks water.
with our fans, It's been
Yeah, they drink
wonderful.
Zobo.
Yeah.
I no, look, I'm when Goldberg reached out, and
Help these boys.
chose us as the platform of choice. I drink beer when I'm watching the game. So
Yeah.
why bring it on? Like bring it on. And I'd like nothing more than to have us do this thing for an entire season, right?
Yeah.
And
Even though it would be great.
I think it will be amazing. So, look, thanks for reaching out and making us a part of your partnership with the Super Eagles. We totally love it. We appreciate it. And yes, to say, let's do it again. Let's do it again. I want to thank you all so much indeed for all you guys on the audio platforms, Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, across all the podcast platforms. Audio, you've been amazing. Let alone the video platforms. We've done at least maybe 500,000 plus views on TikTok. That's amazing, right? To think that you have this old man sitting here with the white with the white beard, speaking to Gen Zs and whatnot.
Finish the AFCON with a fan base of his own. What are you going to call your fan base?
Literally,
Making me
like
cash out.
what are you going to call your fan
What are you
base?
gonna call your fan base?
Making me
You know,
cash out.
Senior men.
Senior men, like
Senior
senior
men,
men,
Banger.
respect, like
Senior man,
So are they
make
going
up-
to
senior man,
contribute
make up-
money for me?
Respect.
Make
Are
up-
they going
make
to
Senior men.
contribute money
Who
for
knows?
the
They
guy?
can get you a
Make I
radio
start Telegram channel.
Crowdfunding.
so.
Be
Hopefully,
admin.
so be admin
I
and
don't
all
turn
that stuff,
admin
right?
already. I say.
But
Just give me the
Rufai,
game.
thank you for bringing your color as well.
Absolutely.
To this
Lakunle
table.
mommy.
Always going
man.
in a good direction and giving, making great TV. Great TV is about differing opinions, and IBK has always brought in lots of the laughs and the jokes, right? I've just been here to drive the conversation and just to make sure that I put these guys back in the room.
You've done a good job, I have to say.
We see the play.
Yeah.
Yeah, just see the play from.
You've done
That's
a good
what I
job,
do.
well
They
done.
play. That's what I do. Right. Shout out to Nii, who gave us one of the best moments.
Hey.
And
Big shout out.
when that happened,
shout out to Nii.
we knew we were on something, right? And the elephants, the eagles keeps soaring.
Yeah.
He keeps looking for praise.
The
So
thing be say, what happened was that the eagle picked the elephant, but the elephant escaped in the
escaped.
air.
So
So the eagle just let him
the eagle
go.
saw a lion and went for the lion. He didn't realize the elephant had other plans, right? But there's Wale in the background as well, who's constantly. I'm calling Wale in the middle of the night. You've got to put this content.
Wale
out.
no dey
Yeah,
sleep.
Put this content out.
Top man.
So that's a top
boy.
professional as well.
Top boy.
And you've got to shout out
But
to
didn't
Wale.
no get sense.
Yeah.
Highly
He has
talented.
Say no get sense.
he's always on the edge.
He's all
but-
these things that you people said he is, but
know.
he no get sense.
Yeah, but that's that.
Wale is the man. He's
Isaac,
what he says he
Henry,
is.
Our audio people are, second shooters on the podcast. We appreciate it. They're the ones arranging the table. So when I say, you know what, we've got to, give it a different look, switch up the mood. I see Wale's face is squeezing. Henry, I'm like, but they still get to do it. So that is amazing, right? So thank you so much for that. And of course, to the brand for, walking the journey with us. That's been amazing. So we'll see you very soon, right? Let's keep it going. Thank you very much, gentlemen. And of course, bye-bye.